do this over the years has been Tom Danko. Tom is a district sales coordinator, quarter after quarter, one thing. He built a career sales force. He had people win the Fireball Series. But yet at the same time, who was always out closing a large account? Tom Danko. He always crossed MPI every year. And what helped him cross that finish line was a large account from a broker that he was able to bring his team in and do the enrollment. I'll tell you what, this guy's been with Aflac for 15 years. He has 26 fames under his belt. I think one of the most impressive things is he has 4 President's Clubs. So talking about how to be a multi-dimensional coordinator, let's have a round of applause for Mr. Tom Danko.
But I don't want it this morning because you guys will see it shaking quite a bit, so I'll try to get through it as best I can. But I just want to thank you guys again for the opportunity to talk to you and the ability to be up here and have Andy talk to me, which I found out even from his notes on Monday. Make sure you call these guys to let them know they're talking on Tuesday, so appreciate the heads up on that too. But again, throughout my years, certainly one of the things I can attest to is the fact that, which we've heard it a ton, and you guys know it, is not to wait for somebody else to tell us what to do. And that's been really what I've held within my career, is why I felt certain I've been successful, is even from day one when I was an agent, graduated from college, a young kid that didn't have the structure from having jobs and having to be there 8 in the morning. Ultimately, that's what I took to my business. And I don't know if it's from my upbringing or parents, certainly that's been a great thing that I've had that, again, instilled that work ethic in me to make sure that, again, I didn't wait for somebody else to do my job. Basically, that's one of the reasons, certainly, why I've gotten some of the opportunities that I've gotten throughout the years, because, one, I've been there. First person to be there, last person to leave. Certainly, throughout my career, I've built a lot of different areas that Andy talked about, from new accounts, large accounts, new agents, brokers, and, again, have gotten opportunities to work on that, because, again, at the end of the day, I was that person that was there willing to do the job. And those are certainly the areas that, getting into management, that I took to from learning as an agent how to go out and open up new accounts, where how can I work on diversifying myself into the other areas of the business. Certainly from the brokers, the large accounts. And the biggest way, especially within your business as coordinators, to do it, and you've heard about it, is to get with your team and your people. At the end of the day, that's the biggest thing that I can tell you that I've really taken to, is doing what I can for my people, especially if you're a district who's working with a veteran agent who might be a new district and you're trying to find out how to impact that person's business. It's the same thing what you're doing with a new agent, which is get out in the field with them, having that windshield or that face time. I've created and gained a lot of those opportunities, because some of them, a lot of them I didn't go out and actually prospect myself, but it was because I was with that person. Now, again, I have the utmost confidence in my abilities to be able to go out and close and talk to a person, which is what you have to get yourself to that point of where you can have that confidence that you can go out and do anything with them. And that's the biggest thing that I've obviously done throughout the years is, hey, I feel I'm my best closer still within my office, my region. And even myself as a regional coordinator, I still know that I'm my biggest producer. And if you as a coordinator aren't your biggest producer, then you have to step back and look at, again, how can you do that? Because that's where sometimes other people start to look to you to say, you're not doing the job. And that's the biggest thing throughout the years, that I can talk to anybody that's on my team, that I can say, hey, I love you guys and what you do, and I know you guys bust your butt, but I still work harder than you. And I can say that with confidence because I do. And, you know, I want somebody to challenge me to that. And that's the biggest thing, that if you hold those attitudes to the people that you're working with, that they're going to start to take to it. So that's how you diversify with your people, is you have to show them that you're willing to work for them. Because the one thing I've seen in this career in business is people that are in management that struggle, you hear about the people that talk about how they don't like working for their manager. and that's the opposite of really, again, the thought of how you're supposed to actively engage and get people to work with you, is you got to get them to like you. And the only way they're going to do that is if they see that you're willing to do the job for them. Certainly that's where one of the areas I've diversified is working with veterans and my agents throughout the years, is getting out. Even this past quarter, fourth quarter, I was out with a couple veteran agents who've been in the business for 20 years. And why did I do that? Because I want to find out about their book of business. I want to find out where and how they got some of those accounts. So again, I can work to try to expand in that business. And that agent, again, is one of those agents that will tell you that she has the worst attitude. But again, showing that I'm willing to go out and do the job, I can tell you that one of the things she said to me is none of the other regionals she's ever had in all her years has ever gone out with it. And again, as a regional coordinator, because where you're at within your position, whether it's a regional or a district, you can't let that title look to you as saying, hey, I can't, or I'm not the one to go out and do that, because that's where I'm at. Certainly diversifying into other areas like brokers. Again, how did I do it? I didn't go out and start prospecting brokers. I found it by working with my people. One of my largest brokers, again, at the end of the day, I didn't bring the relationship to the table, but I helped cultivate the relationship to the point where, again, they like me and now they do business with me. They were contracted with us from years prior to, but everybody that was in front of them as an agent, again, said or did the things to him that just didn't sit well. So the thing that you're going to do as a manager to get into a lot of these areas is by, again, through your book of business and looking at your people. Where can you help them expand into those areas? Again, book of business is a big area. So throughout the years, we've expanded a ton and grown. Hey, we've got, last year when we started our region, 720 accounts as a region, and we had the second highest quota in the state of Michigan, 3.6 million. That's opposite of the way it typically is. The next highest quota in the state that compared to ours had double the amount of size of accounts at 1,500. So again, your book of business is a huge area that you have to really take to, which obviously we've done a great job throughout these past few years, and again, focusing on it. And I can tell you that with the one-pagers, with what Maria's done, again, that's been a huge help because, again, it's putting things in front of us. Even just this past year, from that, again, is where I found a large account from my book of business that I wasn't even aware of until that one-pager got thrown in my face. So diversifying in the 4 pillars is where, when Aflac, 2 years ago, they started talking about the pillars, I started laughing, because a lot of times when Aflac comes up with an idea, I'm not trying to make it sound like I know it all, but I've already been doing it. And the 4 pillars are those areas of where I've been focusing my business on for the last years, from working with those new agents, the veterans, / book of business, obviously recruiting. And then obviously looking at those large accounts, which recruiting obviously is the lifeline of our business. Certainly when you're in management, it's one of the biggest areas that, yes, you're not going to bring in and find everybody that you know that's going to be right for the business, but the ones that you do certainly are ones that you got to talk to. Again, how I've expanded my business throughout the years is by bringing in and working with people I know, like, and trust. Heck, my dad's appointed with us. Brian and I went to college. Josh and I went to high school together. Again, not everybody you know is going to be that person, but again, you got to certainly look to those people that you have and know from an upbringing that have that personality and attitude like myself. Again, what some of the things that I've done, I guess, from what I look at when I'm recruiting with people, can't be trained and taught. I can't determine their attitude because of their, obviously, what their upbringing was. So those are the areas throughout the years that I've diversified and really looked to be multidimensional, including today, which again, I can tell you, I hate being in the office. I hate sitting there and having to do some of the activities, which again, I didn't have the slides put up that I brought, but one of them I put up was my calendar. And the biggest area I can attest to being able to focus and drive all those areas of activity is working with your calendar, blocking it out, doing those areas of activity and putting it in to have some consistency. Now, am I consistent every single week with my calendar based on what I've got blocked? No, but there's a lot of that consistency that makes me focus on those different areas. Including this year, some of the things, again, that I've blocked out my calendar is field time to go out with my managers or CITs to focus on approaching some of those broker markets or areas. With what's going on in the broker market, as we can see, certainly there's a lot of opportunities out there for us with relationships that currently aren't being worked or that never have had a real working relationship. So, it's about working hard. You guys all know that. You're all in this room for that reason because, again, you guys have shown that you had the abilities to do the job and you're willing to go out and do it. And that's the thing that if you keep in front of you every single day is working hard. Certainly, again, this business isn't hard from what you heard, obviously, Rich say. It's not a matter of trying to work and figure something out just do what you've certainly seen where people have been successful. Again, Bill, same thing, has talked about it. Again, none of these ideas and things that I talked about is something that is new or that hasn't been brought to the table. I'm just going out and actively doing it every day. And that's really all I got for you guys today, just from those areas of the business that I've certainly been driving activity in, and I'm going to continually do so. So look to diversify what you're doing. If you are just focusing on one specific area, if it is from a regional perspective, just recruiting, I've had that regional, and it's a good thing, certainly, where they're sitting there doing nothing but just putting that into people into your pipeline. But it's one of those things that if they're not doing that other area of working from the brokers or large accounts or new agents and training and teaching, again, that stuff is seen at the levels up when you're trying to get them to do it, and they're not seeing somebody else do it. So even when I did have those people that just did that, that's the biggest area that I've always even told my managers, is look to the person above you and find the one thing that you can use them for. I look to tell my managers, what is it that you can find and use from me? How can you use me? I don't look to the person above me to determine how I'm going to control and run my business. I look to the person above me and say, hey, how can I use them to make my business better? And really with Andy and his coaching and everything he does, that's all it is that I want, and look to him as coaching. Hey, otherwise I tell him to stay away from my business. And that's the biggest thing, certainly at all levels of where you're at, even as a district to a regional. How can you use your regional to their best ability? If they are just a recruiter and that's all they're good for, don't look to or focus on the fact that they're not doing those other areas for you, because you can get out and do it yourself. So this year I'm really looking forward to what it is that's going on because of the guys and the team. I'll call on you in a second. So I just want to get into at least publicly thanking these guys for what they're going to do and what they've done in the past. Because again, these guys have all gotten out and busted their butt throughout the year, and certainly this year I'm looking for them to do it more, which they're certainly aware of that. Because we're going to definitely be that #1 producing region, and it's not just because Nemo isn't in the position anymore, got lucky and carried over a large group from the same area. But we're going to actively go out and produce the business from the 4 areas, and not just one, to get that #1 spot. So go ahead, Silver.